Hey everybody, Dr. Jeff Riggenbaugh back here with you on another Tips Tuesday, where each Tuesday I bring you a tip, tool, or tidbit for dealing with the difficult people in your professional life or your personal life before you burn out. And we are walking through a series of top 10 tips for having a difficult conversation. And today we're moving to tip number 3, which simply has to do with listening. Tip number 3, listen. Many of us are familiar with the seek first not to be understood, but to understand. And when we listen to truly understand where the other person's coming from, I think one of 3 things happens. Number 1, sometimes we actually see that we agree. I know I personally have seen, okay, I was so locked into this part of what they were saying that I disagreed with, that I didn't realize I actually agreed with a lot of what they were saying. And maybe the part that I agreed with was 90%, and only the part that I disagreed with may have only been 10%. So sometimes when we listen, we can tell that we don't disagree with the person as much as we thought that we did. The second thing I think that can sometimes happen is even if we disagree with a good part, if not all, of what they're saying, I found it can develop some empathy because I can at least understand where they're coming from. And when we are in a state of empathy, experiencing feelings of compassion towards somebody rather than defensiveness, we're going to communicate more effectively in that state. So that's the second thing that can happen. And I think the third thing is, even if the first 2 don't necessarily happen, we hear somebody's rationale, we hear their logic, we hear where they're coming from. And so because of that, we can use that as sort of grist for the mill, if you will, to intentionally communicate with them and oftentimes do so in a more effective way to reduce the conflict. So that's today's tip. I hope you found it helpful. If so, help me out as well as add value to others by clicking subscribe, like, or sharing it with others so that they can benefit from the content as well. If you're interested in the entire webinar on having difficult conversations and disarming high conflict personalities, click the link below. Or if you would like your organization to get some training on dealing more effectively with conflict in 2023, topics such as burnout and more effective communication, I'd love to come in and do some work with your leadership team. Shoot me an email at difficultpeople@jeffriggenbaugh.com. Hope everybody has a great Tuesday, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.